to be caught. Here I come now, let's play hide and seek. Riding on the playground, no one dares to make a sound. Round and round and round and round, no one wants to be first found.
The worst frat hazings of all time. The 8th worst frat hazing happened to Benjamin Klein, who threatened to snitch on his fellow brothers for hazing. After joining ZBT in 2002, Benjamin wanted nothing more than to change the culture and make a difference. At first, all the frat brothers really liked him, but over time, his overly positive attitude really started to annoy some of the guys. There was a big fraternity convention in Florida, so Ben and 10 of the guys packed their bags and headed on down. While all the other guys were out partying and getting drunk, Ben was going around talking to all the chapter presidents and telling them his stance on hazing. Word got out that Ben was planning on going to the school and telling about the hazings that ZBT was doing. Well, the brothers were fuming until they hog-tied him and threw him into a hotel room and began punching and wailing on him for like hours, and then they took him back to the frat house and filled up a bucket full of water and pushed his head in and out of that bucket until he couldn't breathe and was gasping for breath and promised he wouldn't snitch. Then one of the brothers filmed him having his way with his girlfriend and sent it to him a couple weeks later on his birthday. A few weeks later, the police found Ben's lifeless body behind the frat house of an apparent overdose. The university ended up banning Greek life, and no one was ever charged. Trigger warning, trigger warning, trigger warning. It's disgusting. So the worst frat hazing of all time was when Hayden Vanderwaait would be rushing the infamous frat SAE at the prestigious Ivy League College of Dartmouth. Well, Hayden, he was a jock throughout high school, and he couldn't do anything wrong. Everything he did was great. He was smart, funny, and came from a family with a buttload of money. And so when he went to college, it was a no-brainer, just like his family, he was going to end up, rushing a frat. And he ended up rushing SAE. So the pledge process started off terrible. So during their first lineup, the pledges were slapped and spit on. When Hayden was told to head, he was told to head up to one of the hottest sororities on the campus, and he was told the sisters were going to haze him. And at first he was cool about it. He was really ecstatic. Although that soon, pretty soon his smile would be wiping right off of his face. Yep. That smile just totally disappeared when he was told to make out with one of his pledge brothers for the entertainment of the sisters. But he sucked it up and did what he had to and continued on with the pledge process. So SAE has an event they call it's called the Pledge Olympics. That's when things got really disgusting. So they took out an old kiddie pool, and for a week, that's the only place the pledges were allowed to go to the bathroom. And so by the end of the week, it was filled up to the total top of it. Total top with just urine and feces. Whoever could swim around in there the longest would get first prize. The winner was in there for over an hour. And his prize was a giant infection on his arm. Yeah. Imagine spending 60 grand a semester for your kid to be swimming around in a pool of feces. Nice, huh? The next Pledge Olympic event was gag reflexes. The pledges were all handed a giant cup and told to fill it up with the urine and feces. And then they had to swallow it. Gross, man. And if they threw it up, they were done. And if they didn't, they lived to see another day. Oh, So, the next one was called the rotten fruit ritual. And they were handed a huge amount of rotten fruit, and they were told to eat the whole thing. And if you threw it up, your pledge brothers had to eat your vomit. They even had a name for it. They called it a vomit omelet. Oh, God. To top it off, they were, what were they? Then they were handed a giant cup of vinegar and told to chug the entire thing. When one of the pledges started throwing up blood, that's when Hayden realized he'd had enough. Well, it took him that long to figure out that he'd had enough. I mean, he had to swim feces first. He had to drink it. Oh, my God, you guys. And this was the sorority sisters that thought up these things. This was their idea. So if anybody down there thinks that those girls aren't capable of some shit and some piss, they are. Ugh, that's disgusting. So's this. Why is Ethan's Jeep over at Green's lawn, parked in his parking, right over there by his house? Seems weird, doesn't it? It's his Jeep. Looks just like it. I find that really very odd. Actually, I find it odder than odd. What if there were bloody clubs in the back of that? What if Green's protecting it over there? What if that's why his Jeep was brought over there? You never know. I don't know. This just bothers me. The Jeep thing bothers me so much. Because the parents let it happen too. I mean, they could have put their foot down, right? But they didn't. This was a Sigma Chi post. I do not know what it is. But the guy's got blood on his face. He looks pretty messed up. I mean, even his feet look kind of, the way they're kind of laying. His legs are all kind of crooked, especially at the knees. This one right here. This one is freaky. Look at what it says in the front. 1C22. So it could be 1122 or IC22, which is 4. IC4. 4 at the house. This was the day of their pledges, their bid day, and that was August 16th. Creepy, huh? So these girls, this was the first picture they took of all of them together, and they lived there for 6 months. And this was the first picture they all took together. And I found that weird that the other one, that Kaylee and Maddie and Xana and Ethan all took that picture together too with Dylan and Bethany. Isn't that weird? I thought that was really strange. Very strange. And there's lots of pictures of this particular dance thing, and there's people there that I have never seen before. And Bethany looks shitty with dark hair, by the way. I can't stand her hair dark. And it looks like she just is the same age, and it looks like a fake, this whole thing right here looks fake to me. I'm a hairstylist. I mean, it just looks fake as all get up. I don't believe she's in high school right here. I think this is a fake post. It just looks fake. Yeah. Does that look fake or what? I can't wrap my head around that one. Just can't do it. Nope. Didn't happen then. Not going to happen now. No way, Jose. Wild. Don't you think she looks terrible with dark hair? Oh, and then there's this. The night of the party. Look at them. They're all flipping off. People are saying that there's Bethany and Xana in this picture. That's what the caption reads. They are not underneath there. They're not in there at all. Bethany's in there. But, no. Santa is not in there. And look at this. This one you got to check out. This is all the way to the left. That's James Curtis Leonard, and his wife is right next to him, and they're handing the cops their Thanksgiving dinner like they do every year. They bring Thanksgiving and Christmas. James has public defender, was Kathy Mabbutt. Yeah, he's the one that beat his wife up, remember? Went to jail because they thought maybe he did the Idaho4 thing. That's the one.